Have you ever been in a conversation where you can't even finish a sentence without the other person jumping in? I mean, you take a breath and then bam, they're in there, off to the races. You could be telling them the secret to world peace, but they're already revving up their verbal engines because they got something to say. And you can't even really have a conversation with people like this. They're always ready to interrupt. And Proverbs 29:20 warns us about people like this. It simply says, "Seest thou a man that is hasty in his words? There is more hope of a fool than of him." Let's break that down. It means quick, impulsive, blurting things out without even thinking. And let's be real, God says there's more hope of a fool than of him. I mean, a fool is already at rock bottom. That's like saying if you're a bad swimmer, a rock has a better chance to stand afloat. Because a person like this is listening with their mouth open, ready to jump in at the first chance. You say something like, "Man, I had a rough day." And they cut you off and say, "Man, let me tell you about mine." You start telling the story. And before you get to the good part, they've already hijacked your story and they've made themselves the main character. And what happens is you end up going back and forth with a person like this. And sometimes it turns hostile real quick. As soon as you started talking, they stop listening because they can't wait for their turn to talk. And what started as a normal conversation gets into a heated battle. It makes you want to look around and say, where is the hidden camera? You see, God knew what he was doing when he gave us one mouth and two ears. It was a divine hint that we should listen twice as much as we speak. That's why James 1:19 says, "Be quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath." Because talking too much and listening too little is a dangerous combination. I just so happen to have a buddy that's got a perfect solution for people that talk too much. Duct tape. Just keep a roll with you if you have this problem. And every time you get the urge to start talking too much, just slap the piece right over your mouth. And if you have to rip off a new strip every 5 minutes, you got a problem, my friend. Some people even talk so much they don't even remember what they said. And then there are some people that tell the same story over and over and over again and act like it's fresh news. Let me wrap this up by telling you this joke that I heard. A man goes to the doctor and he says, "Doctor, I think my wife is losing her hearing. Can you take a look at her?" And the doctor says, "First go home and do a test. Stand behind her and say something and see if she hears you." And so the man goes home and he stands behind his wife and he says, "Honey, what's for dinner?" No answer. So he steps closer behind her. "Honey, what's for dinner?" Still nothing. And so he gets up right behind her ear and says, "Honey, what's for dinner?" And the wife turns around and says, for the third time, "Chicken." Moral of the story, sometimes we think that other people have the problem, but maybe it's us that need to listen better. And if you've been talking too much and listening too little, maybe it's time to invest in some duct tape. Let's go.